Hi everybody, I'm going to demonstrate a couple of stitches for Queenie's shawl. She's a large triangular shawl. She has this beautiful textured body and she starts at the top with a garter tab. So I thought the first thing we'd do is go through how to work the garter tab. You'll need your needles, you'll need your yarn, and then you might decide that you want to use 3 stitch markers. These are totally optional, but I'll show you how you might want to use them, and then you can give it a whirl if you like. So the first thing we need to do according to the pattern is to use a long tail cast on and to cast on 3 stitches. So I just have a little bit of a tail for my cast on at the front of my work. I get my hands ready for my cast on. So I have this triangular arrangement of yarn in my hands. The tail comes forward down my work. And then to start my 3 stitches, I poke my needle down and then up, just to create my first stitch. I'll show you one more time. Down and then up and twist. So it creates my first stitch. And then my second stitches, I just work as normal for a long tail cast on. So under the front, pull in the back loop, and voila, I am done. So I have my first 3 stitches. What I need to do now, according to the pattern, is to knit 10 rows. But before I do that, I'm going to show you how I'm going to use these stitch markers. Now these are optional, you don't have to do it, but this is what you might want to do. I'm just going to turn my work and get ready to start knitting because it's easier for me to negotiate my stitch markers like this. But I have 3 stitch markers. I have them in 2 different colors. I have 2 silver and 1 gold, and I've put them like that for a reason, because I want to identify the 3 stitches at the beginning, and I want to know which ones are on the outside and which one is in the middle. So you might decide to have 3 different colors, but I quite like just having 2 the same that I know on the outside stitches. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert my stitch marker into my stitches that I've just created. So there's one on the outside. It's going to be a silver marker. The next one in is a gold marker for me, so that goes into the middle stitch. It's a little bit fiddly, this part, but and you could do a provisional cast on if you wanted, but I just find this just easy. Nice and quick and easy. And like I said, you don't have to do it. You can stab around at the end, and I'll show you where to pick up stitches, but if you do want to have a go, you can try this little method too. So right, I've got my 3 stitch markers in my 3 stitches, and now I'm going to knit 10 rows. And it's a little fiddly to get started. I'm just going to keep the stitch markers out of the way. So there we are, I finished my 10 rows, and now the pattern tells me to give my rectangle a little stretch, like so, and turn my knitting 90 degrees clockwise. Next, I have to pick up and knit 5 stitches along the long top edge, 1 stitch in every purl bump. So where are these purl bumps? Here they are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're the little bumps that you see popping up all the way down your work, and we're going to pick up and knit into each one of those. The way I do that is I actually just let go of my left needle and I just use my right needle, and I insert it into the purl bump, I knit and pull it out, and the next one I insert it into the purl bump, I knit and pull it out, next one I insert it into the purl bump, knit, pull it out, and so on. I get to the bottom one and I insert it into that purl bump, knit and pull it out. Then it tells me to rotate my work 90 degrees clockwise again and pick up and knit 3 stitches from the cast on edge. So if you haven't put your markers in, this is the point at which you go digging to find your 3 stitches. Here we have the tail, so we know that's at the beginning of the row. And we can dig around and find 3 stitches. Because I've put my stitch markers in, I'm going to find those stitches really easily. So I'll just get my tail out of the way. I'm going to knit first. See the first stitch? with the little stitch marker, I'm going to knit into that one. So it's 1, get my gold marker because I know it's my second stitch, give it a little tug and knit into that one. And then get my last silver marker, give it a little tug and knit into that one. And now I'll just take off my stitch markers and I'll show you what we've done. We've made ourselves a lovely little garter tab, and that wasn't so bad. If you didn't have the stitch markers, you could dig around and find those 3 stitches from the beginning, but for me it just makes it nice and quick and easy to have those stitches ready to go when we're up. Now what I've managed to do is I've managed to keep my tail at the front, so I will thread that through to the back, my tail, because this is the front of my work now and my tail's at the front. But all I'm going to do is get a darning needle and just shoot it right through and pop it out onto the back side. But now I've done my garter tab cast on, I'm ready to turn my work to the wrong side and to just continue with the next row of the pattern, which is a wrong side row.